Hello! Welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year. I'm your host, Michael Kurland, joined as always by my partner in crime, Dougie Fresh. Douglas, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well. We're recording on a Thursday night.
A Thursday night on the East Coast.
That's nice. Yeah, well, yeah.
Which
East Coast, but you're about done with your day too, right?
I mean, I was done with my day when I woke up, so yes.
Amen, brother.
So let's tell the audience, since it is 7 p.m. on the East Coast on a Thursday night, Thirsty Thursday, what are you drinking? What are you drinking, Doug?
We're into Thirsty Thursday, so I'm going to make this as short as possible, but I sometimes take advantage of Beer Drop. They're a company that will send you a box of beers every month if you want them to. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I don't drink beer, so no. But right. Tell me more. Okay. Tell me more.
So, kind of like a wine club, but cans show up.
Okay. And is it like an array of random like cans from different breweries, or is it like just a 6-pack?
Yeah. So, it's two of each beer that they send you. Honestly, you can customize anything you want. They have a lot. You can dig through and you can build your own order, or they can just send you random stuff if you want, or as in this case, if you forget to cancel it. So this week they sent me a box, actually just today. And before I joined Beer Drop, I'd never heard of these guys. And but they sent me another can today. So this is like the third or fourth time I've had Finkel and Garf. Finkel and Garf. Party on beer. That's the brewery. They're out of Boulder, and this is the dry hop saison.
Okay.
And it looks tasty.
Well,
and you know what's fun? This is fun. It has a little joke on the can. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been actually brushing up on my dad jokes because I'm about to be a dad. So, is this a dad joke, or is this like a PG-13?
No. This is going to fit right into the arsenal.
Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Why should you never play poker in the Serengeti?
Why should you never play poker in the Serengeti? I don't know. Why not?
Too many cheetahs. Salute, everyone. Yeah. It kind of reminds me. Remember like Ballantine? I don't know if you remember Ballantine. There's like a puzzle on the cap. Actually, a Lone Star beer does that too.
Okay.
If you ever had Lone
Star. I've had Lone Star and I've had Ballantine, but I haven't had them in a long time.
They would have that little like picture puzzle on the bottom side of the cap that you could look at if you were if no one was talking to you at the party, like that happens to all of us, right?
Sure. Well, the wallflower action, you're looking at the cap.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a little fun on the can. So, Thirsty Thursday. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. I'm still drinking seltzer. I did get the green light to start drinking again. It is.
Oh, did you?
I did. It's not going to be for a couple of weeks, but I got a couple of boys trips coming up on the books. I have a networking group, a bunch of buddies that we belong to this entrepreneur networking group. And we're going to Medellin, Colombia. And nice. And the wife was like, "You can drink for that trip. I don't mind." Not that I asked because I don't want to piss her off by blacking out and all this stuff. But then
I would say it has to be lifted for stuff.
Yeah, and then I have. Do you know what a bachelor party is, Doug?
So we've made up a party for when you're about to have your first kid.
I didn't. So I did not do this. Right? I did not.
That was a pure guess.
You are. I don't know if it's first kid or if just when your kid's coming, right? But yeah. So my wife came to me. My wife is a little bit younger than me, and she said, "I want you to have a bachelor party." And being the 43-year-old man that I am, I was like, "That sounds dumb. I don't want to do a bachelor party." And she was like, "No, I really think you need to go see your friends and have a bachelor party." And then the electrodes connected in my brain, and it was like, my wife is telling me to go hang out with my friends. So I just said yes. Yes.
Because you will never see them again.
I don't know if I'll never see them again, but yes, Alex is super cool and doesn't give me a hard time. Alex. But yeah, when she's promoting me flying across the country to go see friends. I don't think I should say no. I don't think it should be
good man. You listen to the wife.
Yes.
She tells you to do something.
Yeah. So bachelor parties for all you listeners out there. When you have your first kid, make sure your wife gets a bachelor party on the books for you, where you can go. Just be an idiot. Just be
and I'm sorry. Where's the destination for that? Or
I'm actually flying to Atlanta to start my bachelor party to see the Mets play the Braves at Truist Park. Going to Baltimore to see my buddy, a couple buddies, do a weekend on the Chesapeake, boating, and we will probably go to an O's or a Nats game, whatever. I've never been to Nats Stadium, so as bad as they are, I can't imagine getting tickets. Should be too difficult. And
plenty of good seats available.
Yeah, and Camden Yards, if you've never been, it's quite delightful even now, like 25 years later. So it was.
I want to say we went in the late 90s.
We did.
Do you remember
Yeah. We definitely went. And Harold Baines was playing DH for the Baltimore Orioles, and we were sitting on the left field side of third baseline, a little bit in the left field area. Yep. Harold Baines hit a foul ball right to good old Mike Kurland, and Mike Kurland was sitting next to Doug. And Mike Kurland decided that it was way more important to not spill his beer and try and snag the ball with one hand. And he got the ball in with one hand, went to close his hand on the ball. You remember this. The ball popped straight up in the air, about head high, and the guy in the row behind me, like a fucking shark,
Thank you,
just snatched it right out of my... It was like my one chance at a foul ball. Although
I'm right next to you. I think you were closer to the plate, so you had to play.
I had to play,
and
I did.
That's still the closest I've come.
And I didn't put my fucking beer down. I should have just put my beer down. So,
look, it's a tough call. Beer. This was like 1999, right? So,
Harold Baines was still playing in the major leagues.
Yeah.
So
I remember Ricky was in left for the Mets actually.
Yeah.
So whatever year that was.
It must have been like 99 or 2000, something like
Maybe
that.
2000.
Yeah, but it was we were wee men of maybe 21, 22 years old. We were just legal to...
We haven't aged it.
To buy... No. If you take the salt and pepper out of my beard, I look 35.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it's okay.
You got it.
So we got some stuff, we're actually getting into the dog days of summer. We got a few things left, some kind of loose ends. Let's start with the NBA Finals. And speaking of the NBA, next week we actually have our first guest. DJ Zulo is going to be joining us on the show. So all of you guys out there looking for your NBA Draft Insider, we got an NBA Draft Insider for multiple reasons. One, because Doug and I are not NBA Draft Insiders. And two, Brooklyn doesn't have a pick this year, and we don't care about the Knicks. So DJ does care about the Knicks. DJ does care about NBA Draft and basketball, and he'll come on and answer all the questions we need to know about all the prospects that we need to know and tell us what we need to know. So we're looking forward to that.
He's a maniac, so good stuff next week. Looking forward. Game 6 tonight?
Game 6 tonight.
Fun. And by the way, did I mention it's Thursday, June 16th?
Thursday, June 16th. Game 6 tonight.
For all our stale takes. So yeah, we
this will be out July 1st.
Right? No, Hardcast does a great job. Come on.
Yes, they do.
So we got Game 6 in Boston. I don't know if you saw, but the Celtics have not lost a series there since '85, or is it just a finals since '85? But on that court, what do you think?
I don't know. I still said Warriors. I said Warriors in 5. I'm going Warriors in 6. They played Boston pretty tight since Game 3. So I don't know. They won the other night with Steph going 0 from deep.
Over.
And I don't think that's ever happened in a playoff game for him. So I guess there was nothing to really compare it to. But they just look like they're taking it to him. Tatum and Brown kind of look a little out of gas.
Yeah.
So
I think Tatum was like minus 13 or 14 when he was out there. That can't happen if they want to have any chance. And you're right. Even though Steph had a night off, Andrew Wiggins, man, stepped up.
That kid has turned it around. First overall pick a couple years ago was labeled a bust in Minnesota, and he's come to the Warriors. And I will tell you, the Warriors, you want to talk about a rebuild project. They rebuilt on the fly. They lost Durant. They traded him for D'Angelo. and they turned D'Angelo Russell into Andrew Wiggins, and also got the first pick overall.
Right.
So I mean, they
looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. They're set up for another. I mean, Clay and Draymond and Steph are getting older, but they're still obviously playing at a high level. Looks like they're going to hopefully close this series out, because Lord knows the last thing that you, Douglas, that anyone that listens to the show, and pretty much America needs is another Boston championship. We don't need another Boston championship. I can't imagine a city that has a least desirable fan base than Boston.
I can actually think of one, but we'll get to that in a second.
We'll get to that in a second.
Or at least it's close. But yeah, you're right. Look, I picked the Celtics in 6 because I thought they could actually shut them down, and they've been fighting, but I think it ends tonight as well. Yeah. We'll see, though. I'd love to see it go 7.
I wouldn't, because then I got to worry about Boston winning. And on the fans.
Okay, you're that mad at Boston. I guess I get. Is it all because of the first round, or is it just the fatigue?
Both. I mean, I hate Bill Belichick. I hate Tom Brady still, even though he's in Tampa. I hate everything that the Celtics stand for. I hate the Red Sox. I don't care about because they're whatever. But the Bruins, whatever. So yeah, just not a big Boston fan. The city, the people are not my favorite people in America. So yes.
Massholes, baby.
Massholes, exactly.
It's always funny when like I say that to someone who's not from around here, and they think it's like the fun, like they've never heard it, or it's like the most wittiest thing ever. I'm like, oh.
I was traveling somewhere recently, and I was in an elevator in the hotel, and there was a family, and the one member of the family was like, "Yeah, have you ever heard of masshole?" And I chuckled to myself. I'm like, I mean, yeah. So they were just today years old when they found out about massholes, and we grew up with them, so yeah.
It's still dispersing, but yes. Yeah, it's I was actually down in Miami for a bit this week. I missed some of the Mets games. And speaking of terms, it was the first time I'd heard somehow Tampa Bay. Have you heard that one?
Nope. Another reason why
that's a thing down there.
I hate Boston.
And right, and I was going to say maybe that's a good transition because we in the NHL finals, Tampa Bay got the job done, but now it's time for them to lose, right?
Right. Yes, they took care of the Rangers. Thank you, Tampa.
Thank you,
John Cooper, Vasilevsky, all you guys.
I can wear my Isles gear again outside.
Yep, exactly.
It's a good feeling.
Exactly. So the Rangers are done, which was great to watch them lose because they cried. They cried a lot.
Oh, and that was a hard way to lose too.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm. But
20 seconds after you tie it, that's some Jack Capuano shit right there.
So and it makes me feel good. They're on a good trajectory though. That's going to be a team in all reality. That's going to be tough.
God, it sucks. I mean, and it's ironic because the first they had 1 overalls, right?
Yep.
And it's not even those guys that are maybe the center of this vast resurgence.
Yep.
It's more Fox and Shesterkin, of course.
And fuck Fox above all else, because that guy, refused to sign with anyone except the Rangers. And the fact that he was able to work his way to the Rangers, from Calgary to Carolina to the Rangers
to New York,
frustrating. That's some bullshit. So.
And that's why I'm not going to give them too much credit for this rebuild. I mean, they got Panarin, even though he took less money, and they got Fox, as you mentioned. And Kako is scratched Game 6, so I hope there's trouble in paradise there. But either way, thank God, I could not handle a Rangers Cup this year.
Nope.
Or any year.
Any year, exactly.
We're all, you and I, especially at our age, quite traumatized by 1994.
Correct. It's long suffering, and they're up there with Boston fans. Ranger fans are just, And did you see the guy that got knocked out? The Tampa Bay guy that got knocked out. I mean, come on, Ranger fans. I know we just poke fun here. We're not really hating on you, but that was just classless. Like. That guy got banned for life, but I hope he really gets prosecuted and spends a couple days in jail, because I mean that was uncalled. I don't care what that guy said. I don't care if he talked about the dude's mom or whatever. To just sucker punch an old man in the face like haymaker style was just classless. So get it.
Keyword sucker punch. Yeah. I saw that. The tweet said it was a fight. That wasn't a fight.
No, the kid.
That was assault.
The kid. Exactly. So that kid's probably got a lot of lawyer bills coming up. Hopefully, a couple days in jail, and maybe he'll learn his lesson. But don't.
Honestly, Staten Island doesn't need that kind of reputation, and unfortunately, when people saw Staten Island.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So enough about the Rangers. Their season's over. Tampa Bay played Colorado last night and lost in OT, 4-3.
Did you watch any? Great game.
I watched the highlights. I was driving home last night from San Diego, so I had no access to the game. But talk about it. How was it?
Yeah. So, this was mentioned on the broadcast, or maybe just on Twitter. Like, these are not original thoughts, but I love how this finals really looks like it's the best two teams. You don't get that every time in any sport, really. These the Avalanche are no joke, man. But you also saw that the resilience that Tampa has down 3-1 and be able to punch back quick and tie it in a hostile environment. Before the game yesterday, I put it down Tampa in 6. I need to see them lose before I pick against them. Cooper is just incredible. I used to think, a couple years ago, I thought Barry Trotz is the best coach, but I don't think it's a question now. John Cooper's the best coach in the NFL, if not in sports.
In the NHL.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, so I'm with you, man. So you're still saying what's your pick for the Cubs?
Before they lost, I picked Tampa in 6.
Tampa in 6. Okay.
I could easily see this one going 7, though. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I actually think I've seen a lot more Colorado than Tampa being out west here, and I've actually been, we talked about earlier, been to a Abs Isles game this year in Denver, and man, they're a juggernaut. They have 0 holes. Like, their third line could probably be half the team in the NHL's first line. Like, it's just stupid. So I think Colorado's going to win in 5. Wow. I know, and that's no disrespect to Tampa. That's just how good I think Colorado is. So
okay.
So
hey, you know what? I like it.
I haven't been right once, so take that with a grain of salt.
That's fine, man. I'm rooting for Tampa to lose. Don't get me wrong.
Me as well.
We don't need any 3-peats, and
we don't need to hear that in Tampa Bay. Gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
Tampa Bay. I know. I went like this when I heard that, but
I don't like it one bit, Dougie. I don't like it one bit.
No, we don't like much on this. We're kind of an angry pod, but that's good. That's
the way it should be.
Builds his character.
It definitely builds his character. So, two more little pieces of housekeeping. I don't know if you saw NHL coaching news in the last 24 hours. Bruce Cassidy went from Boston. He was a free agent for no more than looked like a week, little over a week, and went to Vegas. I think that's
scooped him right up.
It's a good move for Vegas. I know there was a lot of locker room issues. It sounded like he had lost the locker room in Boston, very similar to Trotz's firing. It came a little bit later, and Trotz is still out there, which we can talk about in a second. But Cassidy to Vegas, I think it's a good move for them. I think he'll get the most out of them. So that was interesting to see. And then I don't know if you saw, it just happened right before we came on, who the Philadelphia Flyers have hired as their new head coach.
Oh, so it's definitely not Barry, because we would have led with that, right?
Right. It's definitely not Barry.
Thank God. That was like the prime team that I would have been pissed if Trotz had ended.
Yeah. I think Trotz he just bought a house. They actually just posted he bought a house in Nashville yesterday. So I don't know if that's like so that signals to me maybe he's taking a year off. Yeah. I think the only place he would even consider would be Winnipeg, which does have an opening. But I think he went from 15 years, 16 years with Nashville to 4 in Washington to 4 in New York. I mean, he hasn't taken any time off. His mom just died this year. and he lost his locker room. And I think after you lose a locker room, maybe you want to take a step back and see. So who knows, man? Maybe he goes to Winnipeg. Maybe he takes the year off or a couple years off. Whatever he does, I hope him well. But
okay, so let me guess on Philly. I'm going to guess the funniest one.
Yep.
Just from a local's perspective, David Quinn.
Go funnier.
Oh, Jack Capuano.
A little funnier.
Funnier than Doug Waite.
No, he has no Islander connections, but he does have New York connections.
That would have been awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
New York connections.
Yeah.
Oh man. I won't take too long here, but
give you one more guess, and then I'll tell you.
Yeah. Shit. Tortorella.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh my God, he got hired again.
Hired again by Philadelphia, man.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too.
I love it.
I love it. He'll get him
Yes.
turned around.
Torts is back.
He'll turn around this year. He'll turn around.
Oh sure. He always, no. Look, he always does, right? And I think that's a fairly young team still.
Yeah, he's got a 3-year shelf life. I mean, he better win that cup quick with
this
that team.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, and he better get that goalie to start playing like
Carter Hart,
like the kid can play. So I don't know. I found it kind of hilarious because Torts maybe Trotz replaces Torts in the booth now with the hockey night.
It almost seems like he's already coached there too. It's like the carousel with Vigneault and Torts and all these retreads kind of like go in a circle. So you're right. They're going to get a Torts bump first year.
Yep.
I don't know if that makes them any kind of contender though.
I don't think so. I mean, I think they are a playoff contender now, but I mean, we'll see. We haven't even.
Metro's damn tough.
It is, but you got to play the best to be the best, right? So.
Right, and they were in it just a couple of years ago. I remember they took the Owls to 7 a couple of years ago.
They did. That was the year of
that was the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble, exactly. So they were good. They were a good up and coming team, but they took a step back. They got rid of Giroux, and that's like a whole new turning it over. But they are a good young team, similar to the Rangers. They just weren't good this year. They're a young team that is on the cusp of being good. Let me rephrase.
I'd love to see the Owls somehow pry away one of their young defensemen, but I don't think they can, obviously, being in division. So, well, that's crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun to preview this coming season. And I feel like I can safely think about hockey now that the Rangers are out.
Yes.
So.
There was another move today, too. The Golden Knights traded Dadonov, who infamously got traded at the deadline to Anaheim and then waived it because they were on his 10-team no-trade list. I don't know if you remember that.
Right.
And they traded him to Montreal for Shea Weber's LTIR.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they were pretty much up against it, and that move allows them another almost $8 million in cap space now from about zero. So good for Vegas. They're definitely going all in again this year, and that keeps them pretty much where they need to be for the next 4 years, because that contract is 4 years long. So, I
mean, I forget what happened with the club, with the room or whatever this year, but that's such a well-run franchise. So I definitely expect them to be back.
Agreed. So Douglas, let's recap a little. New York Metropolitans, 41-23 in first in the National League, up by only 4 games because the Atlanta Braves have not lost in 2 weeks. I mean, dude, so, I want to pause this for a second because everyone's on this Braves wagon. Have you seen who the fuck the Braves are playing?
I did the work for you, man. I'm ready. Arizona, Colorado, Oakland, Pittsburgh, Washington. Since June 1st.
There's not the only team on there that's even close to 500 is Arizona, and they're a young up and coming team, but they're not good. Right. So yes, the Braves are like beating up. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're beating the teams that they haven't lost. So no disrespect. Right. And they've gotten it from 11 games down to 4 games in the
span of like 2 weeks.
In a span of 2 weeks where we've played good baseball. It's not like we're playing bad baseball. We're
decent baseball.
I would say
the 500 baseball.
A little over 500, but we also had a
nightmare of a trip.
Yeah, we had a 10-game road trip to the West Coast, and we had to play the Dodgers and the Padres, and we split 5-5, Came home, and now we're playing. Milwaukee, who's also been on a loss streak. I think they had lost 11 in a row. And
but they can still pitch. That's still a good team over there,
that's exactly what happened. We faced the reigning Cy Young Award winner last night, and right. He shut us down hard.
But yeah, so back to the Braves, though. Yeah, you're right. It's not panic time at all, but it does mean that this is going to be a hell of a fucking race this year.
Oh, definitely.
They're not falling back. I mean, this is going to be how it is all year. Unless you want to get super pessimistic and tell me that the Mets are going to drop off like they did last year, and I do not see that this year.
Well, I do not see that either. Right. And the cavalry is on the way, Douglas.
That's right.
We got home. Right. We got home on Tuesday. We played Milwaukee Tuesday night, and Chris Bassett hadn't been himself for the last month, and we got Mr. Scherzer and Mr. DeGrom in the dugout, and Chris Bassett pitches very well when Scherzer is in the dugout as his personal pitching coach. And he shut the Brewers out on Tuesday night, put them down 4-0, pitched like he's been pitching all year up until that little blip in the road. And there was a good article about how he went back and looked at all his previous games and what he was doing differently, and he found that he was not trusting Nido, because he was pitching. He had a good rhythm with McCann, and so it's really about when McCann went down. He wasn't trusting Nito's calls. He was shaking. I don't know if you watched a lot of his games over the last month, but he was shaking Nito off a lot. And then Nito and him got together and really communicated before the game on Tuesday and said, pitch more curveballs, stop throwing so many sliders, bring your sinker. And he went back to what he was doing in the beginning of the year. And so kudos to them for figuring that shit out. Yeah,
just incredible asset to have those two guys standing in the dugout, right? And I don't know if you saw last night, but they showed Nito standing in between Jake and Max. So, look, I don't know why Bassett was not working with Nito before, but it checks out.
I think you get comfortable, right? You get comfortable who you want to throw to. I mean, Max was thrown to Nito pretty much every time he hit the mound, and I think his last game he threw to Mazieka when he
Mazika.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And I think he potato. So I think he threw to Mazika his last game before he got hurt. The game he got hurt, or maybe the game before. But yeah, you get your personal catcher. You get in the rhythm. They know what to call for you, what you like to do in certain situations against certain people, and it's definitely a comfort thing, man. It's definitely a comfort thing. So, good.
That's what I've heard. Like going back to Eddie Perez with Greg Maddux, right?
That's right. Because Javi never caught Greg, right? It was a rarity.
Yeah, even that one season when he hit 50 bombs. Right. So as I mentioned, I missed a bunch of games because I was on the road. I missed most of the Angels series and also Tuesday nights. So anything else that stood out to you? I mean, I have some stuff to say, but
so
what have you know? Oh, by the way, you went to an Angels game,
I went to Friday night's game. McGill came back off the DL, and McGill is from Huntington Beach. So his entire family was there. David Wright was there. The 7-line guys were there. It was nice. I mean, it was Citi Field West. It was really cool, man. I had a work event, and we got a box, and I was the only Mets fan in the box because all my clients are Angels or Dodgers fans. And I spent about 0 seconds talking to my clients. I let my team do that, and I watched the game. But yeah, we played well. McGill pitched well. Peterson came out of the pen and picked up. They kind of did a tag team. It was a good. So I wasn't a jinx. Nobody got hurt. It was great. Pete and Marte were back for that game on Friday night, I believe. So they were back.
Oh, I know. By the way, sorry everybody for the overreaction last episode. We just gotten the injury news on Pete.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
6 to 8 weeks.
We live and die with the Mets, just like you guys do. So forgive us
and we can't help it. It's been 35 years.
Forgive us for our pessimism
of Eddie Coleman updates.
Seriously, now we get the Anthony DiComo updates, but Marte got plunked last night, so
again.
Yeah, so he's again day to day after he just got back from his quad injury. Right. Pete's back, looks normal, swinging the bat great, Buck's still making him play first. So all's well in Peteland. I think the team still looks good, man. I don't know what it is about one out of every 3 games in a series we just get the crap kicked out of us. So we got that out of the way last night. Hopefully we can go in with McGill tonight and finish up strong and take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers. There you go, Narragansett. That's a good old East
Another
Coast.
Gansett.
That's a good old East Coast cheap beer.
Standby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Actually, if you want to get into this now, you mentioned when we were doing the prep on this, you mentioned it does seem like, once a series, they get lit up, right?
Yep.
So I went in, I did an informal study.
Okay. And
of all the games.
Deep dive of
year.
analytics.
This is a deep dive. Elias, I'll send you my resume. 64 game starts. I went through, and in this highly unscientific study, I used how many times has a starter given up either the same amount of runs as inning pitch or more runs than innings pitch, right? So 4 innings, 4 runs counts. And by the way, I didn't do earned runs. It's just like runs, right?
Sure.
So Thomas Sapucki gets 4 outs, gives up 9 runs. That counts. That's a shit start, right? I don't know what you want to call it. But if somebody goes 5 and 5, I counted it too. But I wanted to see, because these are the games, right, that get out of hand, like last night.
Right.
Like Peterson, kind of hung in there until the 5th and then started getting lit up, and Jake Reed came in absolutely gasoline on the fire.
Right.
So seems like 1 out of every 3, or like once series, which maybe not accurate because, hey, look, the Mets been winning, man. And they basically winning 2 out of 3 all year. But you have a point. 64 games. This has happened 13 times. That comes out to 20.3% of the time, which is once every turn of the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I have a breakdown. Who do you think? By the way, I looked at all the starters. No one's done this more than 3 times.
Yeah.
So it is kind of evenly spread out. First of all, who hasn't? Out of all the Mets, only one pitcher has not gotten shelled.
Scherzer.
Correct.
Yeah. And I would say Bassett's gotten shelled the most.
No.
Correct.
Bassett's only twice in 13 starts.
So if someone has 3, then it's got to be...
2 players have 3.
Carrasco and Walker? No, Walker's... that's right.
That's what I would have guessed. But actually, Walker's been good this year.
He just had that
Last year he was pretty bad at this, but Walker only has 1 in 10 starts.
Yeah, that was the one I went to in San Diego. Awesome. So it's Carrasco and is it McGill? No, it's not Pete. I mean,
no.
And then it's all spot starters at that point, right?
Well, sort of. Okay, so first of all, on Carrasco, it's kind of weird because he's like 7-2, right? So it seems like he's
got good run support every time,
really on, or he gets shelled, which I think we saw a taste of last year, mostly the bad. But I think that's the kind of pitcher he's going to be,
right?
When he's relying on just kind of like junk. So yeah, he's 3 times in 12 game starts, and no, David Peterson. Even though he has a 3.6 ERA, he has had 3 of these games in 7 starts. The caveat being that he's come in long relief a few times too.
Got it.
So I only did game starts here, and and by the way, McGill's only once in 8 starts.
Yeah, that was the one where he was injured too.
Oh, and Williams is 2 and 5, so he's not exactly.
He's been pitching well though lately. He's been pitching well lately.
No, yeah. Like
we've got
all these guys. Like their overall stats look fine.
Right.
But
well, we are looking good. Otherwise, hopefully we can get the W tonight against Milwaukee. And then, have you looked at the schedule now that we're halfway through this brutal month of June?
I was so into Atlanta's schedule and seeing what the hell they've been doing. But I do know that we go into the Marlins for a bunch of games. What's going on after that?
Yeah, we got 7 versus the Marlins and a home and home, and then we have a 4-game home and home series versus Houston, which is rather weird for me. Like, why are we playing Houston in a home and home, 2 in Houston and 2 at home?
I know.
But
so,
but yeah.
By the way, that's a preview of next year. Have you heard about the schedule changes?
Nope.
Coming down.
No, let's talk about them.
I haven't seen the exact details, but it sounds like they're totally changing the schedule to like you just play everyone the same amount.
Okay.
So like 3-3 against the Mariners every year, 3-3 against everyone every year, as opposed to like weighted division. You know, obviously.
Then what's the point of having divisions?
Exactly.
Like then you just need to have the National League and the American League, and like
exactly
kind of like what the NBA does, which is fine.
Right, but so extrapolate that, right? I feel like, and this is just baseless speculation, but I feel like they're going to move to maybe getting rid of the AL/NL distinction. I don't know.
Then how would they do the playoffs?
Right.
I don't get it. I guess we'll have to do some more research into that, but. Selfishly, that's great because this was the first year that we played Anaheim since like 2015. So, and Anaheim is the easiest stadium for me to get to, and also the tickets are, pretty. I can get a suite in Anaheim for the cost of like $2 seats in LA. So,
seriously.
So I'll take that all day. But yeah, So we play. Over the next month, we play Miami 11 times. We play Cincinnati, Texas, and Chicago, which Texas is decent, but Cincinnati and Chicago both are not very good.
Yeah.
And then we got...
I don't trust Texas. I think that might be tough.
It's at home. So yeah. I feel better about it. And then we play Houston home and home for 4. That'll be a tough series. And then we got a 3-game banger against Atlanta in Atlanta. So over the next month,
finally,
we got some games. We got some good, tough division games that I want to, really see how we flesh out. We haven't played Miami once this year. They're a good upstart young team. I don't think they're on our level, but I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna roll over either. I think they're gonna be tough.
No, they can pitch. Yep. That's one thing they can do. They have some great young arms.
Yep.
I don't know if they can keep up with our bats, but if they shut down our bats, it's gonna be trouble.
Yep.
I've said that before, and yeah, it's. But you're right. Like overall, the fights with Atlanta.
Yep. And if we
here we go.
If we can go to Atlanta and take 2 out of 3, that's a good series. I'd love to get done with Milwaukee tonight and take 3 out of 4 from Miami over the weekend. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, I'm happy with everything. I will say, the bullpen is in a state of flux right now. We had to, we're still missing May. Lugo's not himself. Holderman just went on the IL, so he's out for 2 weeks. Nogasek got sent down, and it's that rule where you can't recall him real quick, so that's why Jake Reed got called up. He hopefully will not be on the 40-man roster after he gets sent down.
No, and that's fine. And someone like, in fact, I'm surprised they didn't bring up. I'll give you a name. I'm surprised they didn't bring up Tommy Hunter yet.
He's coming.
He's ready to go. There's always guys like Medina and Lopez, though. I see the bottom, and Nogasek, as you mentioned, they're all interchangeable. They're going to be cycling in and out.
I like Nogasek, though. He's shown a lot this year,
I do.
And I think that's a guy that should be a stalwart in the pen. We're
absolute majestic stash, though.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Just because of the stash, right? It's like, and the number 85. Like, 2 things, just some random number and a fucking cool, porn stash. Sign me up.
The year I started watching baseball, man, you gotta love it.
Yep. So yeah, I'd like to see us make a move. I know Tommy Hunter is cool, but Tommy Hunter was not cool 4 years ago when we had him then. So he's been dealing.
No, I'm not saying he's a savior. But
no, he's not a savior. He's a vet who's been a closer before, who can get us an inning here and there.
He's gonna make a cameo this year.
He will.
This is a good segue because I don't know if you saw our prep sheet. I don't know if you ever read it. Man.
I do.
I'm kidding.
I definitely read the prep sheet.
No, but so let's talk trades. I know we're still like a month and a half out of the deadline, but why not? And I'll put it this way: if the Mets could only make one trade, and I know obviously unrealistic scenario, but if they could only make one trade, would you rather pick up a bat or a bullpen arm?
If I can only make one,
Yeah.
I would like a bullpen arm, but I don't. They're not gonna just make one trade, and I want the bat. Like I think there's.
Maybe I'm asking what's more urgent, you think, for this
It's
team?
the bullpen arm, 100%. But bullpen arms are
Okay.
easy to get, right? Like, I'm not concerned. We can pick up a closer from some shit team, and plug them in as the 7th or 8th inning guy, and it's not going to cost us a ton. I don't know who the closer is on Oakland. I don't know who the closer is on.
It's Billy Taylor. Let's trade Jason Isringhausen and Terrence Long for him.
Yeah, that trade. Or or the Scott Kazmir deal that was awful too. Victor
Zambrano. We just need 10 minutes to fix him.
Yeah. Except he had
Rick Peterson.
He needed Tommy John or whatever. The shoulder fell off. He was awful. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I would love an arm, but there's so many with the DH being universal this year. There's so many guys that are like mercenaries that are on 1-year deals. That also aren't going to cost an arm and a leg to pick up. That I would love to plug in as. I like JD. I like what he brings, but you're telling me we could get a guy like Josh Bell and plug him in as your everyday DH. That you're not going to love that.
You've been ringing that Josh Bell all year. I love it.
What's not to ring? What's not to ring?
Yeah, and look, we could sit here right now and speculate on the guys they could pick up, but I think that's a great point you just made. The market is extensive this year with all the bad teams. Even with the expanded postseason, by the way, I should add as a caveat, like we've been through this. There's like 6-7 teams not even trying.
Yeah, and that is 100% correct. And just to ring that Josh Bell, 29 years old, gonna be a free agent, switch hitter. Batting .290 with 7 home runs and 38 RBIs with an 801 OPS on a terrible team, and nobody's pitching to this guy, right? Because there's no one in the lineup.
Well, it's him and Nelson Cruz, right?
Yeah, Nelson. Josh is playing first. Yeah, but I think Cruz.
Oh no, in the lineup.
Yeah, I think Cruz has been quite bad this year. I think he's finally his age is starting.
I could actually see Cruz going to the Mets.
Yeah, I mean he's 41. I could see him. He wouldn't cost much. He's hitting 260 with 7 home runs and 36 RBIs. I'll eat my words. It's a guy you can plug and play, right? So, and what's he going to cost you? Your 30th ranked prospect, sure. So,
another great segue because I did a little on the farm roundup for you this week. So I'm going to start naming prospects, and we don't have to get too into what the return is. But I want you to say when we get into the zone that you're willing to trade him. Okay?
Sure.
Does that make sense? Sure. Okay, so I'm going to say the name Francisco Alvarez.
Nobody.
Catcher, for those who don't know, 20 years old, in Binghamton already, 900 OPS, 13 bombs already. ESPN, Kylie McDaniels said he was the best prospect in baseball, maybe. We're not trading him.
We're not trading him.
Okay, next. Brett Beatty down in Binghamton. Third base, 800 OPS. Would you trade him?
He's an older prospect, though. He's 26 already, right?
No, you're thinking of the next guy I was going to name.
How old is Beatty?
I thought he was the first rounder in 2019.
Yeah, he was 19 out of high school in 2019, so that would make him
Was he out of high school?
Yeah.
I thought he had a year or two of college. Or either way, he's younger than 26.
Okay, so he's 22, 23 in AA, and he's got an 800 OPS. I mean, I would trade Beatty. I don't want to. What are we what's the return, It depends on what we're getting. I'm not trading Beatty for Nelson Cruz. I don't know.
I think if you're thinking about trading Beatty, you need a guy who's got a bunch of control, a bunch of years.
Yeah. Agreed.
Minimum.
Agreed.
All right, I'll give you another name. Since we just mentioned him, Mark Vientos is probably the closest prospect to hitting New York, and he's got 11 home runs now in the Qs. He's been raking lately.
Nice.
He, I believe, is 26. He was a second rounder in 2017, just like Pete Alonso.
And he just went on the IL too, right? He just got injured.
I think he's back.
Okay.
I know we mentioned that a week or two ago, but he hit a home run last.
And does he have? He's a guy that doesn't really have a position. He's
So, not really, but he does profile as a future DH on this team, assuming that Beatty's at third.
Right. I mean,
and he's gotten some reps in the outfield.
I mean, I'm not.
And by the way, he's a top 100 prospect still. We're still in the MLB top 100.
So I think it's the same as Beatty. Let me preface everything you're about to say is that the only guy I won't trade is Alvarez. And the way this team is constituted currently, I don't care about next year. If we are going into the playoffs looking the way we're looking right now, I will trade Beatty, I'll trade Vientos, I'll trade Mauricio, I'll trade whatever pitching prospects we have to get someone that's going to put us over the top. I don't want to trade, I don't want to do some of the stupid trades we just talked about. But I don't think those are trades that we have to worry about anymore because we don't have shitty owners that are worried about salaries equaling out and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We got an owner who's probably it's gonna look the other way where we can probably put a lesser prospect in the deal, take on more money, and then get something that we want back, right? Like a Moustakas from Cincinnati. He's got like 2 years left and making so much money, and we'll take him back with Castillo, and we'll give you something, right? But so I mean,
you might have me with Castillo thrown in, but I hear Moose stinks now.
He does, but he can sit on the bench.
No, but I absolutely agree with you. Stevie Cohen is gonna put all the chips in the middle of the table, right?
Yep. So as long as we keep doing what we're doing this year, Max comes back, Jake comes back. This is your window. The window is closing. Yep. Max is going to be 38 by the end of this year. Jake is going to be, I think, 34. Maybe he's 35. I'm not quite sure exact age, but he hasn't been healthy in 3 years. A full season in 3 years. He's going to probably opt out. And you got this core in place. Like we signed all these guys for. I think Marte got 4 years, but everyone else got 2 years. So. Right. This is the window. It's this year and next year, man. So you go all in this year. If we're in first place at the deadline, like we are looking, or if we're even neck and neck with the Braves, and we're still top 2 record in the National League, the only guy you don't trade is Alvarez. That's the guy that you keep, right? But if Mauricio, Vientos, a Beatty, and we're getting something back, like we're getting a fucking lights out closer, we're getting a bat that can come in and bat because. You're just lengthening the lineup at this point. Our catcher, McCann, hopefully comes back. And then that guy, whoever's catching is probably batting ninth. But, you're putting... when our lineup's whole, I don't even know. The only guy that I'm still concerned with is either JD at DH or it's DH, Escobar right? at third, right? So if you can get a guy that can... he's been up and down this year. I think he's playing good defense, and I think he's a good team guy. It's nice that he's a switch hitter. But if you can upgrade, you upgrade. I think that these are the things that, with an owner that we have, that we're going to have to, I don't give a shit if Escobar's riding the bench for the playoffs. I don't give a shit if JD's riding the bench. I don't give a shit if, Guillorme gets sent to the minors so that we can crush it through the playoffs.
Not Luis, man. No,
but you know what I'm saying.
He is such a joy to watch in the field. By the way,
he's great. And the fact that he's hitting 320 on the year, it's amazing. But I just want to win a goddamn World Series. If we need to get some mercenaries in here and we need to trade some younger prospects that are going to look good 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I don't care. Because if we hoist the fucking championship in 2022 and this is our fucking year, then I don't care about Brett Beatty or Mark Vientos. So I love it. Rant over.
I love it. Yeah. So Ronnie Mauricio out.
Gone.
Alex Ramirez out.
Gone. Don't care.
Jake Mangum.
Gone. Don't care.
Jose Buto. Calvin Sigler.
Goodbye. Whatever. As long as we get, a great return and
Matt Allen. Have we traded Matt Allen yet?
No, but he's got Tommy John, so he's going nowhere. That's our only guy. That's the one like BBW that. BBW. God, he was
BBW.
BBW.
Yeah, sorry to ruin the rant with some Brody memories.
That's all right. That's all right.
But God, I love it, man. And by the way, big news flash here. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Although we can argue about maybe Beatty.
Hey, man, you want to argue about Beatty? Fine. If we're not getting enough ROI on Beatty, then sure, don't trade him. If we don't get ROI on these guys, don't trade him.
I think you're onto something especially with the money. it shouldn't cost that much this year for guys that can really put this team over the top.
Yep.
Or at least have us looking good going into short series baseball, which is kind of fucking random, unfortunately.
Yes. Well, I mean, you get Jake back,
But,
you get
hey,
Scherzer back, and then you give me all these arms to go into
and you got
short
Jake,
series.
maybe. I've had 2 beers, so I'm kind of getting optimistic that maybe Jake pitches this year.
He's back at Citi Field. He's starting to throw off a
Catch
mound.
me tomorrow.
Come on, buddy. Come on. This is not your father's Mets. Let's get excited here.
Yeah, this is not our Mets. To be honest,
this is not our Mets, Dennis. This is not our Mets. No. So,
but you're right, and I forget if we mentioned it, but the latest we've heard today is that Max is hoping to have a rehab start Tuesday.
Yeah.
Already
making moves, pre All-Star break possibly for Max, and we're still hoping for August 1st for Jake. So things are moving in the right direction, and we're still winning. We're still winning without him. So
yeah, or at least treading water through a terrible part of the schedule.
Correct. All right, Dougie, it's been
nope.
You got one more?
I've got a couple of things for you. If you're game,
I'm game. Let's do it.
Before Via, 25 years ago to the day was the first Mets versus Yankees game.
Okay.
At Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Do you want to remember some guys? Because I have the lineup up.
I know that did we win the first game? We did, right?
We did.
And I know the starting pitcher was Dave Malicki. Is that correct?
That is correct.
God,
that was probably the easiest one. So
I had to make up for my terrible forgetting of the captain.
Yeah, but that said, this is June of 1997. So okay. I'm not going to blame you as much if you don't remember, the 10 years ago team. This is 25 years. So I have the lineup in front of me. You can shout out any players you want, and I'll let you know. But yeah, if you want to see.
Left field was Bernard Gilkey.
Yes.
Okay. Center field.
Nice.
Was center field Lance Johnson?
Are you cheating?
No.
Did you see this?
No. I swear to God. I am. Right. I am. I'm just 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Was right field Jeremy Burnitz?
No.
Okay. Who would?
No. This man
was it. Butch Husky?
Butch is involved in this game, but he is not in right field. I will go ahead and give you a clue. This man is not sure if dinosaurs existed.
It's Kyrie Irving was playing in right field for the for the Mets in '97. I don't know. Tell me who it is.
Mets legend, and actually had a better career once he left, as usual. Carl Everett.
Oh man, that guy was a psychopath.
Psycho.
So first base in 1997, was it Rico Brogna?
You're off by a year, and I don't blame you because Rico was great too, but this guy was greater.
Greater than Rico Brogna.
Yeah.
John Olerud?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. And then was Edgardo at second at that point? Had he come up?
It's crazy. I had it paused, and the DVR just started right now. It's so annoying. We're gonna. So it's gone, but we're gonna go with Edgardo. I'm pretty sure that was correct.
And so Ray was at shortstop in '97.
No, actually, and you'll never get this. I mean, props if you get who is at short.
In 1997.
I need to hustle to get these answers now.
I don't know. What?
It was. Do you remember Luis Lopez?
Yes, dude. I brought him up a couple of shows ago. Okay.
You did, actually.
Luis Lopez. Yeah. Okay. And then third was Ventura at third at that point.
Nope.
No. Okay. Was it Todd? No, it wasn't Todd.
This actually might have been Fonzie. I apologize. I'm scrambling, but I'm back in. All right. So actually, you messed up second base, and I messed it up too.
Would it have been Baerga at second?
Yes.
Okay, so then Fonzie was at third.
Good call. Nope.
No.
This guy was a pinch hitter extraordinaire.
Matt Franco.
You got it.
Nice. Okay.
Look at you.
And the catcher. Right. And the catcher in '97 was. It was Piazza? No. In 1997,
No, Piazza was 98.
98, 97. What?
The Piazza trade was 98.
Was it Charlie O'Brien?
No, this dude
Todd Hundley.
had the home.
Todd Hundley.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
All right.
And DH, yeah, you mentioned him already.
Butch Husky.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice work. Complete game shutout for Dave Malicki.
I know. I remember that very fondly. I was like, at least we won the
6
first
love.
one. At least we won the first one. We weren't very good.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure we won like a third of our games against the Yankees.
Yes.
I haven't looked it up in a while, but there you go, man. Hard to believe 25 years. I remember I had to go. I was working for your dad at the time.
Yeah.
I could tell you.
Yeah,
that.
I think I was at Boston Market and rushing home to watch Sports Channel in New York. Yes, exactly. So, all right, Dougie. Well, that was awesome. I love when you bring the trivia. I hope the audience enjoys that too. And I am so happy I redeemed myself from the last time we did this.
That was good. I'm giving you full points for that kind of guy remembering. It takes a lot.
Lance Johnson.
One dog, I believe they called him.
Yeah.
He was a good player, man. That trade for McRae sucked.
Yep.
Although I guess we got Turk Wendell out of it, but
cool. That was about it. Hal McRae was it? Brian McRae? He was garbage. Yeah. God, he's a great center fielder. No, he wasn't. So, what do you got to say to the audience?
Been waiting to say this for weeks, man. This is an easy one. Via con Dios, New York Rangers.
Via con Dios, New York Rangers. I love it.
I'll pronounce it correctly one of these weeks.
That's all right. You're doing a great job. Well, Dougie, it's been a great show. I didn't think we were going to get this much time out of the New York Mets and the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals, and we gave me a nice big shitburger to eat. So
I start rambling when
dude.
I think that's why you had me on.
No, we got some good content today, so I'm happy. I hope the audience enjoyed. And Doug, I can't wait to catch up on the NBA draft with you next week. And audience,
yeah, man.
See you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Produced by Heartcast Media.